Welcome to Spirited Investigations and welcome to Supernatural Connecticut. This list of 10 legends is part of a playlist of gentle listening spooky collections from across the USA. The screen fades to black so you can enjoy the stories without distractions. Please do consider a like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Our stories begin with Dudleytown, nestled in the Dark Entry Forest, which is often dubbed the Village of the Damned. Legend says it was English noblemen who were beheaded for treason that started the curse in the 16th century. Their descendants then brought it to the hamlet in Cornwall, Connecticut, during the Puritan Great Migration. The town's history is marred by tales of madness, mysterious deaths and disappearances. So the stories go, after the American Revolution, General Heman Swift returned to his home in Dudleytown, where he lost his third wife to a lightning strike and then went stark raving mad himself. Then in 1872, Horace Greeley was running for president. 1 week before he lost the election, his wife hanged herself in Dudleytown, where she'd grown up. In 1924, Dr. William Clark, a New York cancer specialist, bought 1,000 acres on Bald Mountain, part of which belonged to Dudleytown. One summer he went to New York for a brief business trip and returned to find his wife had gone insane. She spent the rest of her life in a mental hospital. The truth of the various calamities at Dudleytown does appear to have been warped over time, with much change to support the supernatural flavour of the area. Even the forest itself was man-made rather than becoming naturally overgrown. A Dr. Walter Clark wanted to set up a sawmill and so planted thousands of trees. Those trees have now formed the Dark Entry Forest. It looks like famous demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren didn't help, declaring it demonically possessed. Ed Warren said Dudleytown was controlled by something terrifying. Today it's abandoned, with only cellar holes remaining, and it's closed to the public due to frequent vandalism. Story number 2 was made into a film in 2009. It's the story of the Snedeker family, who moved into a former funeral home in Southington in the 1980s. Soon after, they reported terrifying paranormal phenomena, apparitions, unexplained odours, and even physical assaults. Mortuary equipment was found in the basement, which included coffin handles, a chain and pulley casket lift, and a blood drainage pit. The house had indeed served as a funeral home for many decades previously. From the very first night of sleeping there, Philip complained of hearing strange noises and anomalous sounds. He even described seeing shadow figures and a man with a pinstripe suit with white hair, skulking in the dark, who was staring at him as he slept. Philip supposedly became terrified of his room. The other children began to report seeing ghosts, hearing footsteps and voices. Carmen reported once having mopped the floor only to see the water turn blood red in front of her eyes. The couple's bed was said to have vibrated inexplicably. During a television interview, Carmen and Al described how the bed often vibrated with a sort of heartbeat. They alleged that numerous visitors to their home had felt these unearthly vibrations too. As well as this, the electrical sockets and light bulbs were described as having an unnatural glow even when the bulbs were removed from their sockets. Foul odours of rotten meat and human feces were also claimed to have plagued the household. The haunting continued for years. Carmen is reported by the Huffington Post as having described a particularly terrifying incident. The shower curtain very quickly wrapped around me and I couldn't push away, she said. Her thought was something was trying to kill her. Carmen and Al both reported having often been woken in the night by ambient music playing in the background, which occasionally preceded an assault upon one or both of them. Our third story deals with vampires. In the 1840s and 1850s, the Ray family in Jewett City suffered multiple deaths due to tuberculosis. The first to die from what was then a mysterious disease was 24-year-old Lemuel in 1845. Less than 4 years later, Henry B. Ray died from the same disease. He was followed to the grave in the same way by 26-year-old son Elisha, only 2 years afterward. 3 short years afterward, in 1854, eldest son Henry became stricken with the same issues, and that was when the remaining family members panicked. They convince themselves that their dead relatives must be rising from their graves to consume the blood of surviving family members. Something drastic needed to be done, and done quickly. Thus, they dug up the graves. Several bodies were exhumed and burned. That apparently worked, and Henry survived. Number 4 is from Union Cemetery in Easton, which is home to the White Lady, a ghostly figure in a flowing white gown. Numerous sightings describe her floating across the cemetery or appearing in the middle of the road, causing drivers to swerve. Some believe she's the spirit of a woman who died tragically, forever searching for her lost child. One witness account is from a firefighter who was driving his F-150 truck along with a police officer in the passenger seat. A woman in white and with long brown hair appeared in the road. They were unable to avoid her and hit her. She was knocked over the hood and fell back down from the rear of the truck. The two men got out of the car, as did a woman who'd been following in her car, all preparing themselves for a grisly sight. But there was no one there, no blood, no sign at all of the woman in white. At number 5, halfway through our list, is Charles Island, off the coast of Milford, a 14-acre site which is believed to be cursed. Legends tell of the late 17th century Scottish pirate, Captain Kidd, burying treasure there, protected by a deadly curse. It seems something like the story of Oak Island in Nova Scotia, and who knows, there could well be treasure to be found. Others speak of a Native American curse after the island was desecrated. Visitors report strange occurrences, and many treasure hunters have met with misfortune. The treasure itself has yet to be found. Number 6 takes us to a former tuberculosis hospital in Waterford, the Seaside Sanatorium, which is now abandoned. The huge, imposing 1930s built brick building and several smaller ones of the complex sit sprawling along the shoreline. Closed down in 1996, the buildings have often been visited by adventure seekers and paranormal teams, where they may experience hearing disembodied voices and phantom footsteps, also seeing apparitions. Misty figures of both patients and staff have been witnessed, as though caught in time, moving between the buildings. At number 7, Devil's Hopyard State Park sits within 860 acres in East Haddam and is known for its scenic beauty and its supernatural tales. One legend speaks of a mysterious man who played the fiddle at the park's waterfall called Chapman Falls, luring people to their doom. Strange rock formations and unexplained noises add to the park's mystique. The state park got its name from an 18th century malt house located near the 8 Mile River. Due to locals believing the devil inhabited the area, it made sense to believe he was growing hops nearby. Maniacal laughter is reported, also mysterious orbs floating around the falls. For number 8, there's a nautical tale. In 1647, a huge 150-ton ship set sail from New Haven, never to return. It had, unfortunately, begun its journey in January, not the best time for calm waters. The Phantom Ship, as it became known, has become a staple of Connecticut folklore. The story first appeared in print in 1702 by the Reverend Cotton Mather. Around a year after it disappeared, a ghostly ship was seen on the horizon from the New Haven harbour. With tattered sails and battered masts, the ship had been seen right after a strong thunderstorm had hit the area. It's seen after major storms to this day, always tattered and about to sink. At number 9, we stay with water for the Ledge Lighthouse, located off the coast of New London. Legend tells of a keeper called Ernie, who after a heartbreak took his own life there. Since then, reports of doors opening and closing, mysterious footsteps, and other unexplained events have been attributed to Ernie and his restless spirit. Finally, we have the Fairfield Hills State Hospital, located in Newtown, which was once a psychiatric facility and opened its doors in 1931. It remained open until 1995. Although it was a sprawling, cottage-style location on 700 acres, the facility became overcrowded, with up to 4,000 patients in the 1960s. Now abandoned, it's rumoured to be haunted by former patients. Visitors report hearing screams, seeing shadows, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. The network of tunnels beneath the hospital is notorious for reports of ghostly footsteps and whispers. Rooms containing treatments like electroconvulsive therapy are said to be hotspots of particularly intense paranormal activity. Well, that wraps up our journey through Connecticut's chilling chronicles. From cursed towns to haunted hospitals, the Constitution State is rich with tales that blur the line between myth and reality. Thanks for joining me on this eerie adventure, and I hope that you'll join me next time.